Good morning, third graders. This is reading for this week, part two. So we were talking about David Livingstone and how people thought he was dead, and he ended up being sick, and he was hidden away from the world for 6 years. So his friend, was sent out to do a search party, and he found him. And we're gonna go ahead and read page 170 together to see what happened to him, what happened after his friend found him. And then you'll have 2 workbook pages to do. And then that's it for this week, okay? And they're both workbook pages due Friday, so you can work at them at your pace and your convenience whenever you're available to get them done. So turn with me in your reading books to page 170, and we're gonna read this together, okay? The good food and medicine brought Livingstone back to better health. After several months, Stanley was ready to go back to England, but he was not able to talk Dr. Livingstone into going with him. Livingstone kept trying to find the headwaters of the Nile. He became ill again and was cared for by his friends, but this time Dr. Livingstone did not get well. He died in the Africa he loved. Dr. Livingstone never found the headwaters of the Nile, but his exploring and writings made it possible for other missionaries to take the riches of the gospel to many people in Africa. I think we just finished our story, huh? Awesome. That was really good to hear about. I love stories that are about real things that happen, real events and real people, because you learn about them, but it's easier to believe when things are real and that really happened. I mean, obviously. So I really like this story, and I hope you guys did too. I want you to go ahead and complete workbook pages 57 and 58. And let me pull up I think that's it here. I'm gonna brighten my screen a little bit so I can go over the directions with you. On page 57, if you're turning into your workbook and following along with me, they want you in section A to number the sentences in story order. So you have 3 little sections, and they're divided by a blue line, but they want you to number them from 1 until 9. And then on section B in the bottom, write the word that completes the sentence. In the blue box is your word bank. Remember when I told you when you're doing these, say number 1, tears blanked in her eyes. Say blank and then try to fit each word in, and you're writing which word sounds the best. Obviously the first couple are harder because, you're going through all the words. Once you go through one word, cross it off. And if you don't know number 1, skip it and go to number 2. Figure out the other ones and then go back to number 1 or back to number 3 or whatever one you're having trouble with, okay? And then page 58, section C, they want you to put an X beside the statements that show Dr. Livingstone's determination. And that's 6 through 9. Then the next section D, write the name of the person who said each sentence. And those are up in your little blue word bank. And you have to figure out the name of who said what. And then section E at the bottom, it says, if the sentence is true, color the book in the true column. If it is false, color the book in the false column. So pretty easy, and I have that set up that you can turn those into me online. And then that's actually the end of this section of our book. I actually have to go into a new section on my computer, so that's awesome. We're done with that. And that's it for this week, guys. I'll see you next week, and we'll start a new story. Bye now.